Wow. Hello to everyone. I'm excited to see all of you. And today we will talk about Malta. Malta, I think it will be interesting to look a little bit more about this amazing country. And it looks like there will be a lot of information which I will try to understand with you. And of course, Malta, I've heard many times about this amazing country. I had this always opinion that it is quite small country, but we will find out what I will try to do today. Try to understand population of this country. Number one, number two, language which is spoken in this country. Number three, it is GDP. Ah, it is wind. It is wind outside because yes, it is quite windy, and yes, we will look on economy, culture, and history of this amazing country. But before we will start, let's let's give like to us, yes, and let's look to our comments. Oh, hello to Sam Smith. Happy to see you too. Soon I will receive web camera. It means that you will be able to see me separately from a site during 24 hours per day. I think it is crazy interesting idea, and we will see how it will work this experiment. I'm excited. Anyway, what we will do today, try to understand about Malta, and let's go. I see also Alison Carlin. Hello to you. It is nice to see you too. Hello to last one. Hello to you also, Lindsay. Um, I'm so excited to see you, and today I'm drinking just ordinary water. I mean, like just water, no coffee, no tea, just water. But yes, um, I don't know how it's happened. And hello to you, Adrian. Hello to you, happy to see you, excited. Oh my gosh, what is amazing. And let's share screen. Let's see what we will have today. And we will talk, as I said, about Malta. But before we will talk about this, as always, let's watch and let's find out example. First, it is Malta population. It is a first thing which we will try to do. And we can see that at this moment 518,000 people there. Yes, Malta is quite small, but proud looks like um, island. Is it island? Anyway, in 90s there was population like 365,000 people. Oh my gosh. In 80s it was even less, like 333,000. But we can see that they have growth. Growth was quite good for during all this time, and below we can see even yearly population growth rate, and we can see that after 20 something happened. I don't know what, maybe it is COVID problem, and growth rate was quite low, 0.33%. But before COVID, it was kind of increasing, like 2.2%. We can see that during 70s and 60s, population growth was a decline. Okay, I think it is good to know. And hello to Thomas Lee. Hello to see you. Happy, excited to see you. And yes, amazing, amazing. I know that it's interesting for me as always. Have you ever, like ever visited Malta or not? Okay, I personally never was there. And for me, when I'm thinking about Malta, I think that people, at least in Russia, they like to go to this place for vacation, at least those who has money, because majority of Russian population, they do not have opportunity to visit other countries because salary is quite low in Russia. Anyway, what we will find now can find population we looked. Next thing it is GDP. GDP of Malta, and I already a little bit shocked because you can see probably how it was increasing pretty well. We can know, I know that we can do this. Okay, in 90s, GDP was of Malta was 6.3. I believe it is in billion. No, it is annual growth. It is in percentage. It is percentage of growth. We will look just GDP. Oops. Oh, you can see here even indicator poverty, indicator life expectancy, 83 years. It was like 2023. Let's look life expectancy. Gosh. For sure, they will soon live until looks like 100 years at least, like in 70s. Life expectancy 1970, 69. Right now we can see it is 82. 83 it was on 2021. 83 years, it is a lot. Not many countries can show such good results, but we can see that the life expectancy was growing there like exponentially. I wonder why. I really wonder why they have such good enormous changes. Yes, it is amazing, but example in 80s we see declining. In 1982 it was 71, but previous year it was like 73, 2 years. Yeah, it was major declining for like 50 years. 40 years, yes. Wow, it is a lot. It is really a lot. I wonder why they have such um, growth expectancy, growth in life expectancy. Human capital yes. Here we have GDP current GDP in US. Oh no, I do not so want. Yes, we can see that current like 18.1 trillion. Is it trillion? Billions. Um, I do not understand why a more recent value. Okay. Net immigration. Net immigration. Interesting to find out. No. Malta. What does it mean? It looks like thousands people. It is in thousands people. How many people moved to Malta? For such small country, 10,408 people moved to Malta in 2021. I think it is good number. It looks like pretty good results. Pretty good results for such small country. 8,000, oh sorry, 10,000. But we can see that this growth of immigration example in 70s it was minus 3,000. We can see until 80s people were immigrating from Malta. 1979 was first time, like 81, but like until 80s people were moving from Malta. Something happened, policy changed, because we can see already like even in 2000s there was not so many people who was moving to Malta. Yes, but we can see since 2007 probably they created some program when there was crisis, economic crisis around the world. We see that people decided to move to Malta, and we can see how thousands of people was doing this. I know that a lot of rich people in Russia who is really rich, they were creating in Malta companies and like withdrawing money from some small countries like Malta. Anyway, right now, like at last date was like, yeah, we can see that since last decade it is like it was increasing immigration to Malta. Okay, I think it is kind of good to know. Good to know. Economic, maybe I will be able to find information which I want. Yes, here we are. Hello to Malta again, and at this moment 18.1 billions dollars. We can see that in 2000s it was $4 billion, like for 20 years GDP of Malta was doubled. It means that like just economical growth, we can see like we cannot deny this. For such small city, 500,000 people there live, and yeah, it is quite good results, I believe. And yes, you said, Lindsay, that I think you can buy citizenship there, and probably this is why that so many people moving last years. Yes, maybe that's why, like we can see their growth, economical growth is increasing. I think this is reason. You're right completely. But again, we can see that in 80s until 80s, if we will look, we remember that only after 80s there was some kind of like good immigration to Malta, like at least it was plus. Before 80s people were moving from Malta. Right now we can see that in 1975 GDP of Malta was 474,000. Oh, no, no, no. Yes, it is. Gosh, how does they? Yes, millions, millions, millions of dollars. Yeah, we can see in 2010 they still had increasing economy. Yes. Yeah, I see that people like to invest into this country. That's what I see. We will look, of course, today about prices for uh, prices for apartments in this country. Inflation, consumer prices annual. Here we are. It was until 2022. Inflation, consumer prices annual. We can see that in 80s it was 15.7%. In 2022 it is 6.2%. We can see how interesting results here. 6.2% right now in Malta. I think that this was probably connected with COVID. It looks like this. That's why we can see such results. In 2008 and 9, inflation was, I would say, standard, like, no, it was like a peak. It was a bigger, like 4.3. Yes, I think results of COVID. That's why inflation was quite high. And it looks like it will be increasing. It will be increasing for sure. But anyway, I will not do any prediction. I will not do any prediction because maybe they have this explanation. Okay. And of course, let's look now for official language in Malta. We can see it is Maltese, Maltese Sign Language, and English. How many people use English? Spoken, like, Maltese is the most widely spoken language in the country, spoken by 98% by population, most of whom consider it their mother tongue. In addition, 88% of Maltese people can speak English, and 66 can speak Italian, Arabic, French, German, Russian, and Spanish are commonly taught in secondary and tertiary. Okay, how many people can you? Yes, you can see that a lot of people can use the English. 88% can speak English. How many people can use Russian? I'm not understanding. I'm understanding, to be honest, why it is so, but still. Let's look languages in Malta. Recognized like Arabic, French, German, Italian, Russian, Spanish, Serbian. Oh, I'm not understanding some of the things. It means that it is quite diverse city. Looks like this. Studied in secondary and tertiary education. I'm like, how? Yes, they pretty well decided to teach their languages in Malta. Like probably it is. I believe that it looks like Malta quite diverse by population, and those people who has money, they're buying their citizenship. As a result, they're opening schools for their children. Depends from nationality. Example, ethnicity. Example, if they're Italians, they're opening for them schools. If they're Russian, the Russians, they're opening for them schools. Oh, and in these schools, they're teaching their native language for children. That's why we can see that huge diversity. hmm Yeah, I think it is one of the reason. Oh, yes, I see. Hello, Lisa Marshall. Happy to see you. It is nice, very nice to see you. Hello to uh, everyone who joined only now. Hello to Polly from Michigan. Nice to see you too. Yes, so I wonder maybe some of you visited Malta before. I wonder. I wonder because it looks like a place for people who has definitely money. Malta price of citizenship. Gosh. If you have been here for 12 months, you must contribute 750 evra. Additionally, purchasing a 700,000 euros residential home in Malta and retaining it for at least 5 years is also a requirement. If you have resided in Malta for 36 months, you must invest 600,000 euros. Gosh. It looks like you need to invest 632 around this price. Like it will be investment in euros. Yeah, they're just selling their. For them, it is business. For them, it is business. And I think, yeah, it is only millionaires can afford this, and you can find this Malta citizenship by investment program. Um, Only like this you can become. If I wonder who's the people who is working there. I mean, if such like who is working there. I mean, if all people arrive in such rich people. I mean, what about ordinary people? Visa-free destinations with the yes Malta program. Yeah, I think it is crazy. We will try today to look prices for apartment. I believe that it will be insanely, insanely expensive and like for terrible pro. I mean, like not terrible for $1 million for something that like not worth this money. I believe so. Prices will be like this, but yes, we will. I think it is time to start to watch video in political science. I believe that such just uh, attempt try to understand some countries, it would be useful to know. Again, as I said, we will in this video from how it's named, like I was using this channel before, Geodiode, or maybe Geodiode. Uh, we will watch about history, geography, economy and culture, like история, география, экономика и культура. Okay, let's go, let's go. Wow, it is nice. Gosh, looks nice, amazing.
At the strategic heart of the Mediterranean lies a small group of islands. Their long history is a timeline in microcosm of that sea as a whole. A flashpoint between two continents, it has been ruled by Phoenicians, Carthaginians, Romans, Vandals, Arabs, Sicilians, a religious military order, and the British. Today it lives on as a prosperous, urbanized, and finally independent nation. This is the ultimate island fortress. This is Malta.
Yeah. I love music.
Malta is a
I love this music and it is really gorgeous the way how he did this and yes, I think it is insane. It is really insane. Immediately, I do not want to wait. I see that it looks like quite expensive place and I'm not patient enough. I want to look prices. Malta, buy apartments. Um, let's look. Example, buy property type, location. I do not understand in locations. Balzan. Let's like figure everything. Take everything. And maximum we will took like 400, like 4, 1, 2, 3. Search properties. Because I think to look for $1,000,000, it is like even like $400,000. It is insanely expensive. We can see you can buy 2 bedroom. For local people, it's just impossible to save money for 2 bedroom. For sale, example, 390,000. That's what you will buy for 390,000. I would say it looks nice. I wouldn't tell that it is like, yeah, of course, the people will take this furniture, it is personal stuff, but I mean, I would say nothing special. Such quality of walls, I would say it is like, no. It can be, it is too high price. Too high price. Yeah, it's good, like, it's not plastic windows even, or is it? Is it? No, it's plastic. I don't know. And how looks this yard for 390,000 euro. I think it is insane. They have such yard. At least they have this yard, but I think it is too expensive. Oh, it is 2 bedroom apartment. And that's why we can see here living room like this. This living room looks like good space. A little bit dark. I mean, like more. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. No, it is nice. Who is taking? I mean, such furniture. They put this furniture into these bags. I mean. Okay. I want to look, maybe they will show here a map where it is located. And it is a 2 bedroom, or sorry, it was 3 bedroom and 2 bathrooms. Sam Smith Q, thank you for your message. Alex, Malta was showcased in the latest Jurassic World movie. Wow. I would have to have AC for sure, and I didn't see any AC there. If we will show this in US, oh, you can, wow. Can we find this? It looks like you can find any currency which you want. USD. I see it. In the USD, it will be $425,000. I didn't see any AC there. You're right. A lot of buildings are unfinished in Malta. I think they don't pay tax until they finish them. Wow. Interesting. And external area, here they have this, here they have information, 40 square meters. and internal area 140 square meters, altogether 185. Okay. Here I like that they have this information in square meters. For me it is more convenient. Like kitchen, living, double bedroom, three double bedrooms. Okay, bathrooms, two bathrooms, box room, hall and hallway. And they have this backyard skirt. Okay. I think that this website, I like it, is convenient to see, and the most interesting what I like in this website about Malta property, that they have like here quite good options to choose your currency. But I wanted to look location. Like example, this one will cost you little bit less. It doesn't mean that it is it is a lot, but it is a 2-bedroom apartment. You can see quite stylish. What the hell? Is it real? It looks like hotel. It doesn't look like home, but it is modern style, something like this. These strict lines, stuff like, yeah. But yes, 305,000 euros. Maybe we'll be able to look. I want to see location. Read more about this location. Ettard, close to history of Ettard. You can find there like this castle, and find history about this. Yeah, about this location. And yes, that's why this like price is so insane. Yes. It looks all this common sense. I see your message, and I completely agree with you. All these apartments, they look nice. I have no doubt in this. But come on, for 300,000, it is a lot. It is high price. It is insanely high price. And that's kind of like you would not expect another other price of it. I want to see this in the US. $332,000. Okay. Okay, it is good. It is good. Okay, I will continue to watch video, because and maybe we will return about prices, because price is talking about a lot of things. Example, demand, economy situation, and maybe even inflation. We maybe should look statistic property in Malta on price. Maybe the like inflation is talking about a lot of things. Example, right now, because of economy situation in Russia, prices on apartments, they increased exponentially, because interest rate in Malta or in Russia was increased, or if I'm correct, to 20%, and they demanding first payments like 30% in Russia. Can you imagine? 30, like percent, it is like must be first payments when you're buying apartments. For majority of people, it is kind of like common where you will take such money. It means like millions. Before it was, they were increasing several times this first payment and interest rate, and here we are in 2024. Interest rate in Russia, because of inflation, because of war, because of economy situation, is increasing insane. And that's why I would like to look also in Malta. We will talk about Russia in one such videos too, just it will be proper time. You have to pay property maintenance, HOA fees for condos in Malta also, and I believe it will be quite expensive to pay for all property stuff. I don't know. Maybe we will be able to find this information today. Okay, let's go. It is crazy.
Small island nation situated in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, composed of 3 main islands and several smaller ones. Occupied and ruled across the ages by so many of the famous empires and nations in history, it has nonetheless maintained a culture that is today uniquely Maltese. In this presentation, I'll look at Malta's history up to the present, its national organisation and state structure and symbols, its physical and human geography, and lastly, its economy and culture. If you like these country summary videos, then please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes. The origin of the name of the country is uncertain. The more accepted etymology is from the Greek word for honey, meli, and the ancient Greeks, in calling the islands Melite, meaning honey sweet, may have named them after their possible production of honey. An alternative explanation may be from the old Phoenician word maleth, meaning harbour or port, supposedly named after the island's many natural harbours. Malta's long and storied history goes back as far as any in Europe, with megaliths upon the island confirmed to be dated to at least 3600 BC, and pottery remains as far back as 5200 BC. One of the more curious remains of prehistoric peoples are the extensive series of grooves, possibly carved by tracks in the soft limestone, at the so-called Clapham Junction site, named after a busy London railway station. Phoenician traders colonized.
Thank you, Lisa Marshall. 20% down. Oh, it is high. Payment is usually required here except in certain circumstances. So in Russia, they demanding like required, let's say, 30%. 30. I think it is a lot. It is a lot. Yes, before there was like 20% like this, but I think that 30 it is too much. Yeah.
The islands around 700 BC, using them as a way station on their trade routes from the eastern Mediterranean to the west and beyond into the Atlantic. After the fall of Phoenicia to Alexander the Great in 332 BC, the islands came under the control of the former Phoenician colony, Carthage. In their wars with the Romans, the Carthaginians lost, then retook Malta, before the islands finally came under Roman rule in 218 BC. Under Roman governance lasting 6 centuries, Malta enjoyed a fair degree of autonomy as its own municipium or free town. Following the collapse of the Western Roman Empire at the beginning of the 5th century AD, Malta was occupied by first the Vandals and then the Ostrogoths, before being retaken for Rome by the surviving Eastern Roman Empire, today known as Byzantium. The Byzantines would hold the islands for the next 3 centuries before they fell to the Arabs in 870 as part of their conquest of Sicily at the time. The Arabs would hold the islands for another 2 centuries until they were taken back into Christian hands by the Normans in 10.
Like any country, they were parts of many countries in history. It looks like they had quite interesting relationships with everyone. Only now they joining independence, but before it looks like they were here, there, everywhere. Okay, like there was Roman Empire, there was Byzantine Empire, Ottoman Empire. Looks like they were participating everywhere. Like location. It's all about location. We can see that every war was like they were like part of every war because of location. Yeah.
1091. For the next 5 centuries, Malta passed peacefully between various European dynasties, especially those of Iberia, and became thoroughly Christian and westernized. But in 1530, Maltese history took a more unique path when it was gifted by the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V to the Knights Hospitaller, a religious Catholic Christian military order that had emerged during the Crusades against the Muslims of the previous centuries and who had been expelled from the Greek island of Rhodes by the Ottoman Turks a few years earlier. Charles's faith in the Knights proved to be well founded, as only a few decades later, in 1565, Malta was besieged by 40,000 Ottoman Turks, but under the leadership of their Grand Master Jean Parisot de Valette, and with the assistance of Spain and Sicily, the siege was repelled successfully, despite being outnumbered more than 4-1. Following this siege, the fortifications of the island were enhanced, especially around the inner harbour, and this new city was named in honour of the Grand Master that had pushed back the Ottomans, the future capital of Valletta.
Okay.
This was one of the many building projects the Knights undertook
I want
during
to
their governance.
go today and look in Google Earth to walk around this Malta city. It looks nice. I mean, this historical site of city. I mean, these churches or whatever it is, looks amazing. But at the same time, it looks a little bit boring. I don't know. Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, I mean, like everything looks amazing, but you do not see example like in Brazil some colorful buildings. Here you can see how to say everything is same, like color of buildings, like color of roofs, it is gray or white. Nothing like extraordinary. They have probably standards. But yes, I would not say that it looks like yeah, it looks amazing. Believe me, I like this what I see. But at the same time, it is not like extra maybe because of everything the same, and you're like, okay.
And which has given the island today its distinctive architectural character. They would rule Malta for almost the next 3 centuries, and because of this association, became more commonly known as the Knights of Malta.
Or maybe
Their reign came
I'm talking like this because I do not have money to go and buy the property. That's why, like, oh, it looks terrible. Some people would think like this. But I mean, it looks a little bit boring. I mean, like, some colorful cities, like, you can find they have these colorful buildings, like different diversity. Example, I would not pretend like compare Malta and Houston. Like it's 2 different cities, 2 different cultures, everything. But in Houston you can find it is widespread city, but you can find different architectures. You can find example center, business center, downtown. There you can find skyscrapers. You can find residential area. You can find more historical area. You can find such. Here probably they have. Maybe I should look for this before judging. Malta. Let's look for skyscrapers. Oh, they have it. Maybe because I didn't see this on photo. Maybe this is why I started to talk like immediately. List of tallest building in Malta. Oh, that's what I'm talking. Because maybe they were showing only historical place. Yep. Let's look example tallest one. Okay. Another one. Like tallest one, 400 feet. Mercury Tower. Which one? This one or not? Portomesso Business Tower. 320 feet. Have no idea. What is this? Looks, yeah, but yes, it is like new buildings. That's what I'm talking. Maybe because they showed only historical parts. I love, no, please try to understand me. I love historical parts a lot. That's another Julian's Bay, Malta. It is more colorful on this picture. Maybe because of sunset it looks a little bit different. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, amazing. Preluna Towers. Yeah, here you can see what kind of buildings I was talking about. More modern buildings, not only historical. This historical which we saw today, but yes, if we will look on our video, like they were showing here only historical parts. Maybe they will show more. And yes, Miami has those. We want rainbow colored buildings. I would not mind. I mean, like, it is amazing. Skyscrapers.
Or
Also.
commonly known as the Knights of Malta. Their reign came to an end, as did so many changes in Europe, with the Napoleonic Wars at the end of the 18th century. The religious military order's possessions in France had been seized in the secular French Revolution of 1789, and when the revolution's new leader Napoleon arrived in 1798, the knights surrendered without a fight. Only 2 years later, however, and the occupying French forces were ousted in a local uprising with the assistance of Great Britain. An international treaty 2 years later would have returned the islands to the knights, but the local populace protested. The knights had never really integrated with the locals, and in the latter centuries had become
this historical sideways, and I would feel that a little bit. I don't know about crime in Malta. Looks like their crime not so high because like pretty good quality of life there, and people who is going to live there, they are quite rich. I mean, like, it looks amazing, but because maybe it's how should look these streets. Maybe that's they're preserving this historical side, and that's why it is fascinating to see at the same time. But living there, how does it, how people feel that to live in such historical place? It's interesting. And yes, I was just watching a documentary about the Grenfell Tower, Tower Fire. I don't think I'd ever want to live in a tall building. I would live probably in a tall, like maybe maximum 25 floor or like building. This maximum. Yeah, because where there will be opportunity in case of fire to go to some example places where there will be safe balconies in case of fire or stuff where people can be safely away to help. I mean, like, uh, but yes, a maximum I would live in skyscraper which will be 25th floor. And I would, because I want to see, to have example good view. But to be honest, for me, main idea just to have place to live. Main idea it is this. It is doesn't matter if the example I would prefer to find. I do not want example to work all my life just for apartments or house. I would prefer to find to like I mean like people chasing for this all their life. All their life, like here, people buying such expensive stuff. Just I don't know. And again, it is those who can anyway. Malta is popular with old people from UK. They go there for months in the winter. I didn't know. I know that Malta is popular for Russians who is millionaires, who has money, and they were withdrawing money by offshores, different schemes, and they were withdrawing money, of course, in London, in European countries. These Russian politicians, who is now, they were withdrawing money to Western countries, Germany, France, USA, yes, UK, to all countries, European countries. Of course, Malta was one of these small islands too. That's what I've heard, at least.
Become unpopular. Instead, the Maltese requested protection from the British under the condition that they could not later cede the islands to any other power, but instead hand the islands back to the locals. In the closing stages of the Napoleonic Wars, Malta was officially passed to the British Empire as a colony in the Treaty of Paris in 1814. Malta's position in the heart of the Mediterranean served British interests greatly, as it became a resupply station for ships passing through the Suez Canal from 1869 on.
We can see that here St. Petersburg was at those period of time capital of Russia. Yeah.
On their way to British India. For the next century and a half of British rule, the relations between them and the locals was mixed, with autonomy given in 1921 and then revoked again in 1933, for instance, over local protests regarding the imposition of the English language in schools. It was during World War II, however, that perhaps Malta's greatest hour came. Surrounded on all sides by the Axis powers of Germany and Italy, the islands withstood relentless bombing from enemy air attacks throughout the war.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most famous incident was on the 9th of April 1942, when the dome of the Rotunda of Mostar was pierced by a German Luftwaffe high-explosive bomb, which then failed to detonate. 300 people were in the church at the time awaiting the evening mass. No one was injured, and the locals hailed it as a miracle.
Okay.
Despite 6 years of bombing, the islands held. To honour the bravery of the people of Malta during this time, they were collectively given the George Cross, the British Empire's highest civilian decoration and normally only given to individual acts of bravery. The Maltese wear this award with pride in their flag and coat of arms today. In its heroic defence during that very modern war, Malta continued its tradition as an impregnable island fortress from past centuries into recent history. Britain eventually honoured the terms of their protectorate with the Maltese people in 1964, handing back the islands to the locals when Malta became an independent state. In 1987, a neutrality clause was included in its constitution, guaranteeing.
Malta is a democratic republic founded on work and on respect for the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual. The territories of Malta consist of those territories comprised in Malta immediately before the appointed day, including the territorial waters thereof, or of such territories and waters as parliaments may from time to time by law determine. Malta is a neutral state actively pursuing peace, security, and social progress among all nations by adhering to a policy of non-alignment and refusing to participate in any military alliance. Such a status will in particularly imply that. And it means that Malta not part of NATO. It looks like this. Let's look, because they said here that they do not want to be part of any military alliance. Malta is, does Malta part of NATO? Yes, and we read right now Malta is one of 5 members of the European Union that are not members of NATO. Malta has had formal relations with NATO since 1995, when it joined the Partnership for Peace program. Is Malta a US ally? The US government and the armed forces of Malta also enjoy an enduring partnership through dialogue training programs and bilateral exercises. Okay. Yeah, we can see that they're not part of NATO, and we now know why. Because they have this in their constitution, I believe.
Geopolitical non-alignment. However, Malta today is a republic within the British Commonwealth as well as a member of the European Union. These last two concepts, being in the EU and the Commonwealth but also non-aligned, might sound paradoxical, and this is because of the polarised struggle between the two main political parties of Malta since independence. The centre-left Labour Party, which favours Maltese non-alignment and independence geopolitically, contrasts with the centre-right Nationalist Party, favouring alignment with the West, and which was instrumental in the push for Malta to joining the EU, a stalemate that was finally settled by a relatively close referendum just before its accession.
Let's go to the New Zealand sometime. I do not have my passport. I didn't return my documentations, and that's kind of like sad part. I hope that I will be able to return, and yes, obviously I need this for my education here in Houston, and that's like my priority now, because moving to countries like New Zealand, any countries, it is all about expenses, and I already kind of expensive guy for some people, like Sam Smith Q spending a lot on me, Bill was helping a lot, Nicholas, all of you was giving me donations. I feel that I'm expensive guy already, but I mean, yeah, that's why I need to concentrate more on my education and maybe not traveling, but about my apartment in future, or not apartment, townhouse, something like this, because yeah, traveling, it means like wasting money. I need to think more about settling down myself about this part, because yeah, but of course obviously it would be nice to For me, I want to visit some places to meet some YouTubers personally. It is true. And yes, we can see that they are part of European Union. And Alex, get a USA passport. It will long journey to receive a USA passport. I need to live minimum 5 years. 5 years. And then I need to have test for citizenship and stuff like this. And yes, it will be a long journey for sure.
In 2003. The unicameral parliament of 65 members elected for 5-year terms is modelled.
Alex, if I ever win the lottery, I will buy your car, Lindsay. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for thinking about me. I appreciate it. And thank you. It's not, I'm understanding one of the thing. It's not enough only to have a car. A car, it's also expenses. It is insurance. It is gasoline, because like for comfort you need to pay. Yeah, but thank you a lot. I appreciate your support. And yeah, but before you will buy me a car, when you will how would say lottery, my advice for you to think about yourself at first. Think about yourself at first, then already about others, because life is short. I'm understanding this, and maybe you want to go to New Zealand. Just spend on yourself, on your traveling. But I would appreciate it for sure. Thank you. Okay.
On the British Westminster system. While the elected president is the head of state, that is largely a ceremonial role, with executive power coming from the Prime Minister, who is the leader of the largest political party in Parliament. Malta has the highest voluntary voter turnout of any country in the world. In terms of local government, Malta is divided into 68 local councils that deal with typical municipal and city issues. The majority of these are within the Greater Valletta area in this highly urbanized island nation. In the Cato Institute's latest Human Freedom Index, Malta scores well, being ranked 24th most.
We can see the disappearances, conflicts and terrorism quite high, score 9.6 from 10. It is quite good. Security and safety. Civil society repression 9. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is quite developed country by all means, and but credit market regulations 8 point. The worst we can see, regulatory costs. I wonder why. Military interference 10%. Regulatory cost and reliability of policy 5. Why so low there? Low we can see here. Money growth, it is okay. Civil justice 6.1. Criminal justice 6.3. Government consumption 2.2. They have quite good bureaucracy. Consumption, government taking a lot, spending a lot. And we can see that the size of government. The lowest what I see here, it is government consumption, like rank 2.2 from 10. Gosh, it is terrible.
Free country overall. The flag of Malta is a white and red bicolor.
At the same time, if they have results, like why not? If they have results, if they have safety, if they are not participating in any military, if they have good quality of life and freedom, you be thinking yes, like that's why they're paying to governments like such good money, because they feel that governments. But if you're paying a lot and you do not see this result, like good roads, it looks like this Malta, this country quite has good quality of life. Yeah.
With the George Cross top left. The red and white colours were once believed to be from Roger of Sicily, who conquered the islands from the Arabs in 1091, but this has recently been debunked as a myth. The red and white colours of the Knights of Malta are the more likely source. The coat of arms depicts the flag on a central shield with the fortifications of the island acting as a crown, while wreaths of olive and palm leaves flank each side. The bottom ribbon reads Republic of Malta in the Maltese language.
Sorry, Sue, I can't get the Wi-Fi.
No one can. We got rid of cable internet.
No one
Rising
can.
prices, equipment charges.
Okay, dramatic.
Malta is situated in the central Mediterranean in the strategic narrow gap between the island of Sicily and the North African coast of Tunisia at a latitude of 36 degrees north. The three inhabited islands, Malta, Gozo and Comino, account for virtually all of the total land area of 315 square kilometers. The road and ferry journey of 53 kilometers from the northwest to the southeast extreme would take about 2 hours.
Only 2 hours. Only 2 hours. Gosh. In Houston, you can like spend much more time by driving from one end to another. I mean, like, but obviously it is like population of Houston incredibly huge compared to Malta. It is just two different realities. But we can see that it in my mind, it looks like Malta, it is place for rich people. Those who has money, they're like, okay, I will go to Malta. They like do these decisions. That's what they do.
The base of the islands is limestone, a waterable permeable rock that accounts for the complex of inlets and natural harbours that, with the...
Can you imagine? This place looks amazing for building their castle on this cliff. If example, if I would have like billion dollars, I would make there and build there for this money, they're like amazingly huge castle, and I will do there like give people opportunity and companies to make their movies, because this castle will be for centuries. Gosh, I think that this is amazing location for making for like building castle, at least online. You can like by designing the, yeah, I think it is crazy cool place. But it can be windy there, but I mean like it is castle, it must be windy place. All castles they're in such cases like such locations like where it's windy, not convenient to live sometimes. That's why it is castle. Yeah, it looks nice and convenient, and probably these people who's resting there, they're like, okay, thinking about the same.
island's strategic position have made it such a desirable base among sea powers. The local buildings, cut from the pale rock, produce the lightness of colour that dominates the city of Valletta as a whole, along with providing white sand beaches between the cliffs that otherwise dominate the coastline. These cliffs around the island further enhance the island's ability to act as a fortress. The climate is Mediterranean in the Köppen system, with hot dry
It's like I saw you ask the brand, wonder where they bury their dead. I think that it looks like. I'm sure that they have these, or maybe we can see cemetery in Malta, because internet can give us all answers. You can see how looks Adolorata Cemetery example. We can see such photo. Looks quite modern. They have the church close to this. It looks like old cemetery, historical probably. Formerly Italian Cimitero di Santa Maria Adolorata, often known simply as the Adolorata Cemetery. And it is located close to the center. Oh my gosh, they must be pretty quite expensive. Yeah. Considering that it is small, they have like a location. I mean, like this island. Maybe we will be able to find another one. Images. 7 6, yes, a lot of people talking about Adolorata Cemetery. Other photos you can find, like these small close pictures. And more older, yes, graves, how it's called, yeah, graveyards, yeah, like these. It is more old ones, like it is military cemetery, yeah. Looks interesting, fascinating. I don't know what is happening every time when you watching about and trying to understand a little more about cemetery. It's always fascinating because behind the cemetery, like a cemetery always has, they have always like interesting atmosphere, and maybe because they're giving you thoughts that we are not forever here. I do not know that connection between other generations with people who was living even hundreds years ago, and it is that's why it is kind of fascinating. I had thoughts to help, like I have grandmother, to build the cemetery, like good things. Like it would cost like $1,000s to build a really good, to make this beautiful, this place. But I think it is not now. But yes, you can see that people living, like doing this. It is this one organized somehow, stylish. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Because it just seems no room. It looks Alex, you have over 500? What? What do you mean 500 people? Ah, yes. In this channel, because it is channel Alex Life, yes, we gained a little people. There was a little bit less people step by step subscribing. Yeah, you're right, Sam Smith Q, completely. Step by step we are gaining. But what I want to achieve from this channel, I want to have 3,000 hours of views on this channel, it will give me opportunity to make monetization on this channel, because at this moment super chats are not available and some things are not available too. That's why I need to have at least 3,000 hours of watching hours. At this moment I have much less, because I closed some live streams. I don't know, maybe I should open them. I need to look for this. Anyway, 3,000 views I need to have. It will take probably a couple months, because it is a lot of hours for such small channel. And yes, you can see temperatures in Malta like can be 86 in Fahrenheit or 50. It is during winter time, and perceptions can be 22.9 inches total.
Summers and mild wet winters. With more than 3,000 hours of sunshine per year, it is one of the sunniest places in Europe. But the downside is a lack of water supply. A densely populated island nation with no permanent streams, in a climate that sees almost no rain for half the year, meant that the country had to embark on a program of desalination of seawater to meet the population's water needs. While the natural biome is one of Mediterranean scrub of hardy shrubs and grasses, known as maqui and garrigue, little of this remains, with more than 2/3 of the country urbanized.
Yeah.
So much of the country is built up that it is often referred to as a city-state. With a population of just over 500,000 squeezed onto a small set of islands,
Like a
Malta's
population.
population density of 1,600 people per square kilometre makes it the 5th most densely populated country in the world. This population is made up mostly of Maltese natives, with a small minority of British and EU retirees.
Very interesting that this angle on the city, you can see here more modern parts on other side, here more historical
Malta has 2
buildings.
official languages, English and Maltese. The latter is a rather unique language of Semitic, that is, of Middle Eastern origin, being a mix of medieval Romance, Sicilian and Arabic. It is the only Semitic language that uses the Latin alphabet and the only official Semitic language within the EU. About 90% of the population can speak Maltese, while 96% can speak English, 62% Italian and 20% French,
96?
making it one of the most...
I looked there like 96. What I looked before, I was thinking like, it was same high. It cannot be that people using more English than Maltese. How it can be? It's high, I know, but here they showing English more popular than local language. Interesting situation. That's how important where is these languages? Let's look for English. Of course, it was colony of British Empire. Makes sense. That's why the variety of English commonly spoken in Malta is based on English and British Empire. Oh, sorry, British English. It is also heavily influenced by Maltese and Italian, not only in vocabulary, most commonly by pronouncing Franco-Latin loan words. Here we have 88%. Yes, it is still a lot. 88% of people. Yes, now because it was the colony of British Empire. Oh my gosh. Now it makes sense. It all makes sense if you will try to find the answers. But still, it is very interesting. It means that every first person there multilingual, every first person. Can you imagine? It is a lot.
Multilingual countries in Europe. Malta is one of the most religious countries in Europe, perhaps no surprise considering it was governed by a religious military order for so many centuries. About 4 in 5 Maltese are Roman Catholic, the faith which is also the state religion. Although the official city limit is relatively small and confined to the harbour area, the urbanised area of the capital Valletta dominates the main island of Malta geographically and constitutes the majority of the population.
I like that on this map you can see populated areas like this, like it's all populated areas. Here, here, here. Wow. This region doesn't look, western part of Malta doesn't look like so populated.
With a GDP of just under 17 billion US dollars nominal, the Maltese economy today ranks 131st in the world, but per capita is ranked 24th.
24th.
The economy of Malta has changed throughout the millennia according to the whims of the various polities that have ruled over it. For more than a century as a British colony, the economy of Malta had depended upon the sea trade and military presence of that power. The British withdrawal in the 1950s and 60s necessitated a drastic diversification of the economy into new areas. Today, about half of the economy is in services, with banking and software being notable. The abundant military and religious architecture of Malta, the beaches and rugged coastal scenery, in combination with so much sunshine, make Malta a popular tourist destination with up to 3 million visitors hosted each year. The remainder of the economy is in agriculture, fishing and manufacturing that is surprisingly diverse for a small island nation and which includes aircraft parts, semiconductors and biotech. Maltese lira used to be the currency of the islands, but Malta joined the euro in 2008. Maltese culture is primarily European, being influenced by a succession of European powers that have ruled the island, although African and Middle Eastern influences remain, particularly in the Maltese language. The island's neoclassical and Baroque architecture, a product of its high point of artistic development under the Knights in the 17th and 18th centuries, is Malta's most visible cultural face, with the heart of the city of Valletta being a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It reminds me Game of Thrones. Maybe they were making their footages. Malta. Maybe they did their footages. Game of Thrones in Malta. Filmed in Malta. I've heard this before, that you can see this information. The Maltese islands of Malta Gozo were a prominent Game of Thrones filming location in season 1, and the stunning islands a must visit for any Game of Thrones fan. And we can see here, you can see here a map where they did these footages for Game of Thrones. Because, to be honest, I've heard about this fact before. I was like, wow, because I like to watch Game of Thrones before studying English. I watched this in Russian, and maybe one day I need to rewatch this in English. It would be nice. And you can see locations like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 8 locations here. 9 locations. Quite a lot for such small islands, really.
At the other end
because
of its
this
history,
view, everyone who
Valletta
was watching Game of Thrones will immediately recognizing this. You don't need to even okay.
being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At the other end of its history, the various Neolithic temples upon the islands and the necropolis known as the Hal Seflieni Hypogeum, all dating to before 3000 BC, make up Malta's two other World Heritage sites. Malta's 3,000 plus hours of sunshine and famed architecture have made the islands a popular choice for TV and movie principal photography, including Game of Thrones, Gladiator, Troy, The Count of Monte Cristo, World War Z, The Da Vinci Code, and Popeye. And what about those most tiny of canines, the Maltese? Well, the breed has been around since antiquity, and while the name suggests it may have come from Malta, we cannot know for certain due to the far distant origin of the breed. The famed Maltese cross appears on the ensign of Maltese civilian vessels. The cross is not unique to Malta, being associated with many religious and military orders across Europe since the Middle Ages, but its use by the Knights of Malta cemented its association with the islands, and for the last few centuries, this distinctive symbol is named for Malta. And what about those famed Knights of Malta? Were they lost to history after losing the islands during the Napoleonic Wars? Actually, no. The religious military order still lives today, headquartered in Rome, without territory, but regarded as a sovereign entity in international law. While they may no longer be resident, their mark upon the island was surely the greatest of all, holding the island against all odds for Europe and Christianity, and preserved in the architecture of its streets, churches and fortifications that embody this, the quintessential fortress island nation.
It looks amazing. Interesting how...
And that's Malta. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of its history, geography, economy and culture. Please like and share this video if you enjoyed it or found it useful, and please let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you're from this country and if I missed out anything that you feel is important. If you haven't already done so, then please click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't.
Yes, I think that it was amazing video. Quite calm, quite interesting. It is giving opportunity to understand a little bit more about Malta. Maybe, of course, I'm sure it's not maybe. In such short video like a live stream, it is impossible to understand all aspects of Malta. But let's be honest. When we are talking, sometimes we are talking about bigger countries in short time, like bigger countries which have a much more complicated system, which have much bigger population. As a result, like for such a small country like Malta, it was, I think, more than enough. Maybe one day, maybe we will watch again something interesting to find out about this. But yes, I think it was enjoyable live stream. I found a lot of things today, and I hope that you found too. And I see you said that Brandon Snow, you didn't watch Game of Thrones, and I want to rewatch this in English because I love this series a lot, and maybe it depends for whom, like from your style which you love. Maybe you love more biography, documentaries, or sci-fi. Depends. I love Game of Thrones. It is amazing, at least for me. And yes, thank you for your likes, for your comments, and I appreciate this really a lot. You can leave your comments after video, it would be nice, and support me in Buy Me a Coffee, it would be amazing. And yes, I'm wishing you to be yourself, wishing you to have amazing evening, daytime, or maybe morning time. Yes, you're amazing. I'm hugging you. You're enough. And as always, see you next time.